Hi, Adam Parrish here. We had a question come in from one of our students asking if I could explain the difference between imp and match point scoring. Well, I'm happy to do that for you, Michael. Match point scoring is generally what we do in a pair game. And the way it works is your score is compared to each of the other tables of the pairs sitting your direction. And your score is calculated simply by did you beat this other pair or not. Doesn't matter by how much, just did you beat them? Is your score higher than theirs? So it doesn't matter if you beat them 110 to 100 or 800 to 100. It's just did you beat them? So let me show you an example. You and your partner are bidding hearts and the opponents outcompete you to 3 clubs. And you're able to set them one trick, and so you get plus 100. So at the end of the game, we look at how everybody did. It's an 8-table game. And so we see, okay, one table, the opponents went up to 4 clubs and went down 2. At 2 tables, the pairs playing in our direction were allowed to play 2 hearts, and they made it. We had the most common result of 3 clubs down 1. One pair with our cards bid on to 3 hearts and went down. And one pair didn't defend very well and let 3 clubs make. So now we can calculate the match points. The pair that got plus 200 gets a top. They beat all 7 other pairs. The pairs who got plus 110 and 2 hearts, well, they beat 5 pairs. The 3 of us at plus 100 and the 2 pairs who went minus. Again, doesn't matter how much you beat them by, they beat us, even though it's just 10 points. So they get 5 match points for the 5 pairs that they beat, and then a half for the pair that they tied. We get 3 because we beat 2 pairs and we tied 2 pairs. And poor 3 clubs making gets a bottom. They get 0 because they didn't beat anybody. Now, imp scoring is generally what we do in a team game. In a team game, we're only comparing with one other table. And we're comparing with what our partners did at that other table. And so in imp scoring, the size of the difference matters. It's not just did you beat them, but it's by how much. And so we have this handy little chart here that tells us how to convert a score into imps. So let's say that you have an overtrick imp. An overtrick, you made 3 spades and your opponents made 2 spades. So you have 30 more points than they do. You get 1 imp. Let's say that you made a game that they didn't make and you get an extra 400 points. That's 9 imps. So let's go back to our example where we set 3 clubs and we got 100 points. So that's the result at our table. At the other table, our partners let our opponents with our cards play in 2 hearts and they made 3. So our partners went minus 140 for a net result for our team of minus 40. So we consult our chart and we see that 40 points translates to 1 imp. And so the result on this hand is that we lost 1 imp. Now let's say that instead our opponents with our cards had bid on to 3 hearts and went down 1. And so our partners came back with plus 100. And so now our team has a net result of plus 200. So we consult our chart and we see that anything between 170 and 210 points is 5 imps. So we have a net result here of plus 5 imps. So the main difference between imp and match point scoring is that at match points, you're being compared to a lot of different tables. And what matters is, did you beat them? Not by how much. And so the difference between that extra 10 points for playing in no trump or the extra 30 points for an overtrick can be huge. Imp scoring, you're only comparing with one other table, and the size of the score matters. And so, an overtrick, 1 imp, that 10 points for, playing in no trump versus the major is 0 imps. It's no difference. But if you make a game that your opponents don't, or you bid a slam that they don't, that can be 10, 12, 13 imps. So that's going to affect our strategy. In a match point game, we're going to be aggressive, trying to get that extra trick, to maybe try for the higher scoring contract, maybe to double the opponents and get a higher score. And in imps, we really put the focus on making our contract and setting the opponent's contract, because those over tricks or under tricks don't really matter. And we really focus on bidding our games and our slams. So I hope that answers your question, Michael. And keep the questions coming, everybody. And I'll see you later. Bye.